Namaskar my friends, and today I'm back here with another review, and finally we are going to start our Transformers Prime series reviews. Now I know I've been blabbering about Transformers Prime over the last 1 month, but there was so much ROTV stuff that we had to review and so many other brands that we have to cover in our channel that we really could not find a window to actually get these reviews in. But now that we have, we're going to be starting off with a big one. Today we're going to be having a look at Beast Hunters Predaking, manufactured by Hasbro. So I don't have the box with me because I got this guy into my collection in 2017, and ever since I have moved multiple times, changed multiple homes, and unfortunately I could not get the box to remain in one piece. So the box is not here with me, but you can have a look at the box here on screen right now. And they weren't kidding about the 21-inch wingspan. Yes, his wingspan is 21 inches. We'll have a look at him right now. Now, before we take a look at the figure, let's have a look at the accessories. And unfortunately, we don't really get accessories here, but we do get these two crossbow-looking things. And they actually kind of work. You see, they actually have a spring here, and if you sort of hit this switch, this fires this this bullet thingy. So if I just hit the switch on both of them, so yeah, that fires. So yeah, be careful when you're playing with this. Don't poke yourself, don't poke anybody in front of you, don't hit anybody. Just be very careful, all right? And these actually attach onto the figure as storage or as a part of the aesthetic. I'll cover that in just a few moments from now, but let's have a look at the figure first. And now we have Predaking in his beast mode. Yes, if you have seen the show, then you know what I'm talking about. This guy is probably the most badass character in Transformers history. If not the most, well, one of the most badass characters in Transformers history. Predaking was awesome. He was probably, the star of the show, in the 3rd season. Again, spoilers, if you haven't watched it, please go ahead and watch it. But yeah, he was pretty much the star of the show, man, and I loved him. And not just me, most fans, in fact, all the Transformers Prime fans absolutely love him. And here he is in all his glory in his beast mode. And wow, look at that. That looks magnificent. Look at that. He's not perfect, he does have his issues, but he is nevertheless a very, very good release by Hasbro. At the time when Hasbro used to produce some very good stuff. They do now as well, but not as much as they used to earlier, but well, what can we do? But this is what he looks like. And yeah, they weren't kidding about 21-inch wingspan, because yeah, have a look at that. I need to get up here to show you this because he's not going to be putting on my screen. And yeah, that's how large his wingspan is. Look at that, right? You can see my hand, and I've got fairly big hands. So yeah, you can see that. That is huge, isn't it? And there are a lot of nice molded details here on the wings. Looks very, very cool. On both wings actually. And as I mentioned to you, that you can actually place these. There are some peg holes here, right? There's a peg here. You can actually place these on the wing for storage. So if I can just do it with one hand, no, I don't think I'll be able to. So I'll just peg in there. Oh man. Yeah, there we go. There we go. That's one. Now we'll actually peg in the second one as well. There we go. So yeah, that's what the wingspan looks like. Look at that. That looks amazing, right? And he also has a gimmick, and it's an interesting gimmick because for the gimmick you need batteries, and unfortunately I don't have ones lying around here. And in case you want to install the batteries, what you're going to do is you're going to come here, you're going to remove the wings here, and it's pretty easily detachable. And as you can see that there is a screw there, right? There's a screw. If you can get some light in there. There we go. There's a screw there, and you can actually unscrew that, put in the batteries so that the gimmick would work. I found this gimmick utterly stupid, but if you want, you can actually do that. And you can remove this one as well, just the way I removed the first one. So there we go. That's not attached right now. So, and the gimmick is, you see this little I don't know what you call this, but anyway, you just go to pull it, and he actually, breathes out fire. I mean, that's what he's supposed to, right? And because of this, there is no articulation in the head or in the neck. So yeah, he actually breathes out fire. But the problem with this gimmick is, and the reason I find it stupid, is in the show, the fire would actually generate from his throat, and it will light up, and then, he would breathe out fire. But here, the head kind of lights up, which to me makes no sense. The head lights up and the eyes light up. I really wish I could show you this, but I mean, if you have this, you know what I'm talking about. In case you're trying to get this guy, then you know what to do. You could install the batteries, and then sort of use this gimmick. But his head and his eyes kind of light up, and his throat doesn't, to me, which is very stupid, because the fire actually generates from here and goes up here, and then he sort of breathes it out, which is what it's supposed to be. But yeah, we do get that. So that's a nice little gimmick for a lot of fans. But yeah, I don't think you can hold that in place in case you're trying to do some photography, you're trying to pose him. But that's all that you get. But the face sculpt looks very good. If you have a look at the face sculpt, that's a very nice looking face sculpt right there. Very, very cool. And he's got these nice molded details all over his body. It looks very, very cool. The tail here as well. Tail also kind of becomes something in the robot mode, and I'll talk to you about that when we get into the robot mode. Some nice paint details here as well. Very, very cool. And yeah, that is what he looks like overall. And just lift him up to show you. So yeah, very, very nice. Now, as far as articulation is concerned, I already showed you the neck. We really don't get much articulation here, unfortunately. The legs do come forward, and they do hinge right there. And his feet are actually on a ball joint, so you do get some pivot as well as some up and down movement, which is pretty cool. His tail isn't articulated, but yeah, if you want, you can actually, I don't know, maybe use that. I don't know. The legs, the rear legs actually don't have much articulation. They can go out to the side because of transformation, which is cool. Again, this is not the official articulation for the legs, but you can sort of get his legs back and forth. This is all a part of the transformation, so there's nothing much that you can do. And of course, he does have, I think, yeah, you do get some movement here as well in the feet, and you can actually get some pivot right there. So as far as the wing articulation is concerned, he actually has a hinge here, so he can actually flap his wings, I suppose. And he has got another point of articulation here as well, where you can sort of collapse the wings as well. So that is something that also you can actually try for the wings. And besides this, that is all that we get for articulation. By the way, these also articulate if you want. I mean, these are not articulation points, but you can kind of make them work, right? So that is all that we have for the beast mode. Now let us have a look at the robot mode. And one more thing is that you can actually, use this as well. Again, this is more handy in the robot mode, but yeah, in case you wanted to articulate that, you can. All right. we have in front of us Predaking in his robot mode, and this guy looks absolutely fantastic. By the way, just want to mention here that all the Transformers Prime series figures suffer from lack of paint. They do not have enough paint on them, and this guy looks very good, but he could have benefited so much had it been painted nicely. So we don't get a lot of paint, but we do see the molded details, and man, this guy's screaming for paint. This is actually a fantastic looking figure. It really is. Although he has paint issues, but he really looks very good. But if you want, you can display him the way I have. I really like these spikes coming out to the side, but if you want, you can actually fold them and you can actually display him like that as well. So I much prefer it this way, but hey, you can display him however you want. So let's take a look at that face, and that face looks really, really good. Although I'm not entirely sure if that is completely screen accurate, but he looks very, very cool. And like I said, a little more paint would have really helped him, but well, this is what we basically got back in the day. But he looks fantastic, and you can all see all these details here on him. All these spikes coming out of the side of his shoulders, and yeah, spiky shoulders. He's also got some molded details here as well on the arms. That looks pretty cool. That's very, very nice. Got some nice paint here. I quite like the gradient paint going on here on his thighs as well, which looks really, really cool. His legs look pretty nice. Nice molded details on the legs as well. And the wings, of course, this time we see this side of the wings, and of course the Predacon symbol right there. So this looks pretty good. Some Cybertronian inscription or language written there, which looks pretty cool. Same here on the other side as well, and that looks very, very nice. Very, very cool. And in case if you're wondering that can we have him standing with his wings completely stretched out, yes, you can. You absolutely can. You can give him that look. In fact, that is exactly how I had him displayed in the Transformers Prime display, if you have seen it in my other videos. So yeah, why not? Why not? There we go. Man, that looks gorgeous. That looks absolutely majestic. And we can actually take these weapons of his, these firing weapons, and like you see, they can be stored at the back. You can also give him these weapons. As you can see, he's got a peg hole here, right? And you can actually plug these weapons. You can just adjust the camera a little bit. There we go. You can actually plug these weapons right here. If you want, you can do that. That looks good. Let's get the other one. That looks good. And yeah, he can actually, you can actually hold him. You can actually hold him pretty well. So yeah, you could totally have that going. I don't know how nice that's looking, but you can totally do that. Or you can actually take these, and he has another peg hole here, and you can actually slot those in right there. There we go. So yeah, he could totally do that if you want. Or you could just plug them on the back of his wings, which looks good as well. So we'll just get these off for a second so that we can actually have a look at the articulation. So yeah, there we go. Looks very, very cool. And no, the gimmick doesn't work here in the robot mode. It only works in the beast mode or the dragon mode. The only complaint that I actually have about this figure is I don't like this whole dragon, hanging over his back and his buttocks. It's just kind of very weird. And this is the only thing that I don't like about this figure. However, back in the day, I think this was the best that they could come up with. If they try and reissue this figure or redo this figure, I'm sure they're going to be making some changes in the engineering, but this is the only thing that I don't like. He does get a little back heavy, and as you can see, he's sort of just bending over. All that machinery on his back actually makes him bend over a little bit. So, it's very difficult to actually get him to stand straight with all that junk on his back. So yeah, that is something that you just need to be mindful about when you're getting him, or if you're planning to display him in a certain way. Now let's have a look at the articulation. And for the head doesn't look up or down, but it does go 360 degrees. You only get rotation in the head, and that's all that we get. For the shoulders do go to the side quite a bit, which is pretty good. And if you want, they can actually, go 360 degrees if required. They're on ratchet joints, since you're getting that noise. They also have a single jointed elbow with just about 90 degrees bend, and these are actually on ball joints here, so yeah, you can give them an up and down or a side to side movement, whatever you wish. And of course, these articulate as well. For the legs, he does kick forward, which is pretty good. He does have rotation here as well. And by the way, these articulate as well, in case you're interested in articulating them. These knee pads, you can do that, and you totally do that. He does have a single jointed knee, and he does have a little bit of ankle rockers going on here. No up and down movement in the ankle, but he does get an ankle rocker, which is pretty good. The wings, as usual, can collapse if you want, can spread out if you want, and can actually hinge and go back as well. If you want, you could do that. Totally do that. And one more thing I actually forgot to mention here. Now you all must be wondering, what happened to his tail? Where did the tail disappear? But the tail actually becomes a sword, and this is parts forming here, and this is something that I didn't like. But then again, what could they possibly do with the tail? So the tail actually becomes a sword, and it kind of this slot here, right? This slot actually comes into play again, and we have the sword. You can just plug it in there. Oh boy. And yeah, he actually has a sword now. So yeah, if you want, yeah, you could totally do that. You could totally give him that if you want. And now it is time for some comparisons, and this is how he scales with Prime and Megatron. And as you can see, he does scale really, really well with these guys. I really love that scaling. That is amazing. So that's pretty cool. And here he is with Bulkhead and RC from the same show. And Bulkhead had quite a few fights with Predaking. Actually got his ass kicked in the process, but well, there we go. That's wonderful scaling right there. And here he is with Smokescreen and a Vehicon. So yeah, there we go. And here he is with Shockwave. Yes, the one responsible for his resurrection. Shockwave actually had him as a pet initially. So yeah, there we go. And here he is with the APC Toys Megatron. Yes, we will be taking a look at him in this series as well. Stay tuned for that. And yeah, he almost is as tall as Predaking as APC Toys Megatron. Very, very nice. He's not called Megatron, by the way. He's called APC Toys Dark Master. So there we go. And here he is with our homeboy of the channel, Scarlet Spidey Marvel Legends. And that is the scaling with an average sized Marvel Legends Spider-Man. And now it is time for us to change him back from his robot mode to his beast mode. Let's get it done. In beast mode in scaling with Shockwave, and yeah, this doesn't quite work because he's massive in beast mode, and in the show he just stars over everybody when he's in beast mode. But well, you win some, you lose some. In robot mode he looks very good, but in beast mode, yeah, he looked a tad bit small compared to Shockwave. And here he is compared to Megatron, and again, like I said, this doesn't quite work, but yeah, there we go. And once you get him into a pose, trying to kill Prime or trying to battle him, it kind of works, but then again, when he's standing straight up like this, it really doesn't. Here he is with RC, and yeah, this kind of works, but then RC in the show is way smaller compared to Predaking. So my overall thoughts about this figure, well, I bought him in 2017, and honestly, this was a very, very good purchase, in my opinion at least. Yes, he has issues, he's not perfect, but man, he looks good on the shelf, doesn't he? And for those of you who actually have him in your collection, or the ones who are actually looking for him, he's absolutely worth it. I'll tell you that. Until Hasbro comes out with a better version, or till APC Toys comes out with a much more screen accurate looking version, this is what we have, and this is what is available right now. Although he is not exactly available because he's very, very difficult to find. Not impossible, but he has become extremely rare, and he goes up for a pretty penny. So in case you are looking to get him, make sure that you check multiple sources or multiple sellers, and you get the best deal on him, because getting him that to complete with all these missiles and those weapons that he actually has, yeah, he doesn't often come complete. So that is something that you need to probably look out for. So if you have liked this review, then please do give us a like, comment, share and subscribe. We'll have more Transformers Prime reviews coming up in the next few weeks, so stay tuned for that. And of course, we will be back to our movie Transformers reviews as well as our G1 Transformers reviews very soon. With that being said, you were watching Plates in Plastic. I am Sushmit Biswas. Please take very good care of yourselves. Please take very good care of your family. Enjoy your figures, enjoy collecting, and always remember, they all are one. Thank you so much for joining us today.